about a fire episode of Demon Slayer as we kind of have been introduced to the entertainment district and kind of what it all encompasses. This episode I thought was really, really good because we were able to see the lives of our three separate main characters, right? We were able to see what Tanjiro, what Inosuke, and what Zenitsu's life is in each of the three houses that they're occupying. And we got to see like the different contrast to how each of them are kind of like conducting themselves and kind of how they're trying to find the three wives essentially of Tengen. So though the two that I think got the most focus here were definitely Inosuke and Zenitsu, which I thought were really cool. And oh my god, the ending with Zenitsu being like enveloped by the demon, I was like, oh my gosh, that's definitely gonna make for an interesting next episode for sure. Especially since the demon has definitely caught on to Zenitsu definitely being a male and be part of the demon core. So he has definitely become a huge target, but nonetheless, I'll get to that in a moment. So, the episode is focused, showing us those contrasts between the three different characters. So, you know what? Let me start with the most boring one first, which is essentially Tanjiro, right? So we have Tanjiro, who he's the one who hasn't come upon any kind of demon yet, but he can definitely smell and feel that the demon's aura is definitely in the air. Now, Tanjiro, I felt like the most comedic about because his was basically like him cleaning and preening and doing the flowers and fixing the home and really putting himself to work and being like the best version of what they can expect from one of the girls living within the house. And so much so that even like the lady of the house, like the madam, he can say, okay, madam, what's next? Madam, what's next? And she's like, you're done with this already? I can't believe it. Like so much so that like he instantly like he swapped her tea really fast. And then he was able to fix her sliding door. And like he constantly is just over and over and over performing, which I think is just amazing to see on how his experience is so far. So he's like the only one who hasn't experienced who the demon is of his house, nor has he found who Tengen's wife is in that home exactly yet. Then you contrast over to Inosuke, right? And Inosuke, I thought was really... He had a really funny moment, too, because he ended up just, like, punching one of their guests into another galaxy, which is funny, because, like, they show this guest dude walking into the Onigen, I think this was called, Onigen house, or whatever it was. And we see this dude during the day walking into the house, and he's so excited, like, yo, I'm finally going to get to go into this house, and he blushes. And, Inosuke, picking up from where last episode left off on, he came to find that, like, yo, he picked up, like, the demon's aura in a way, too. He felt like something was wrong. So he's like, oh, this is the room of one of Tengen's wives. And he goes in there, he's like, there's something wrong. He's like, he just busts up in there. And he can feel the demon fleeing because it's daytime. And the demon was like, yo, I think someone's onto us as well, as they were like torturing, they were torturing one of Tengen's wives. So he gets onto it and he chases this thing throughout the whole entire house, right? And he ends up finding the guest, and he's like, oh, it's right there behind the wall. And he goes to punch the wall through, but instead the guest gets in the way, like, oh, you're so pretty. Bah, right in the head. He gets just like crushed, which I thought was just really, really funny. And then he continues to go and try and find the demon, but he ended up losing the demon because of that incident that happened there. And obviously the person of the house was definitely, or the madam of the house was definitely not pleased with him. But that's kind of all we got for Inosuke. Then we contrast over and we jump over to Zenitsu. And then Zenitsu had like the most interesting story because Zenitsu, I think he's the most well put together of this season so far. And Zenitsu this whole time can feel that something is wrong as well, and he has the most keen senses, and you can really tell like the last 4 months he has been honing a lot of those senses, right? He uses his feelings and he also uses his hearing, and he hears a little girl crying, so he goes in and tends to the little girl who's crying, and immediately the demon, the lady of the house, comes right behind him, and he didn't feel him, he didn't sense him, nothing. He ends up getting effed up by that demon. He ends up getting punched, but the demon ends up getting onto him, realizing that A, he's probably a man, B, he's part of the demon core, and C, definitely now a target on their back. So we again, the episode ends with Zenitsu like being tended by the girls who were praising him and stuff, and we see him get yeeted up by the demon himself and becoming the target, holistically, like as we kind of move into like the next scene. But overall, I think like so far, like this season has been really, really great for Demon Slayer so far. I think the character development, what they're going through, the world building, like us really feeling like what the world of the entertainment district is like, has really been kind of surreal. And we're getting to see like the historical values and like kind of like what history envelops the entertainment district, and we're also seeing on how the different demons have been placing themselves within that. This goes even further to point to where the demon who has now pinpointed Zenitsu, she was visited by Mr. Michael Jackson demon, the head demon dude, and he came to praise her about what good a job she was doing a few days prior to Zenitsu getting there, where the madam of the house was, committed suicide, but really the demon killed her. And I thought that was really interesting as well, to see on how high up this lady is. And just to see on how, his network of webs of demons just goes so far. It's kind of crazy to see all that as well. But overall, I'm loving the season so far. I love this episode. Again, I love these world-building episodes. I love being able to see a snapshot of what Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu's life is here, as they try to uncover everything that's going on within the entertainment district, as they try to find Tengen's wives, as they try and figure out everything that's going on. And eventually, as we go into the next episode and beyond, I'm going to really be interested to see on how they tackle these demons. Like, what's Zenitsu going to do? Especially because he doesn't have his sword, right? He has his breathing techniques and stuff like that, but he doesn't have his sword, so what is he going to end up doing in these situations? It definitely builds up that stress, and it builds up that wanting to know what's going to happen next, which makes it all so interesting as it kind of comes together. But I'll leave you guys on that. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys being here every week for Demon Slayer as we jump into the second half of the Demon Slayer Entertainment District arc here. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down below. And let me know what was your favorite part of this episode down in the comments. For me personally, it was the Zenitsu stuff. I definitely love seeing him. And when he comes on screen, I feel like I just kind of light up. But let me know what you guys thought. And I'll see you guys next week for the next episode of Demon Slayer. Peace out.